this video shows how to graft a citrus tree by tea budding, so don't go away. Be right back. Hello, happy YouTubers! Welcome back, Marcelina here with you. Today I'm going to show you how to graft a citrus tree by tea budding or shield budding. Before we begin, if you come across this channel by coincidence because you're looking or searching for information on citrus, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Also, always open your notification icon to be notified of our next future videos. Alright, let's move on. The citrus trees that we will be using today on this type of graft are EUREKA and Calamondin, which is also known for Philippine lime. Since Calamondin can be sometimes difficult to root by cuttings, the only best way method of propagation that will give us a higher percentage rate of success growing the tree is either by air layering or by grafting. So we're going to take a tissue parts of our Calamondin and inserted or grafted to the EUREKA. Now, this EUREKA here, look at this EUREKA is growing taller. So this EUREKA is grown from seed, and it has been almost 10 years now that the tree is not producing fruit. To get an enjoyment or a usefulness of EUREKA, we're using the tree as our rootstock. Now, a rootstock, I have a sample here. So this is rose, by the way, because I was grafting my roses. So a rootstock is the base half of the tree or half of the trunk, where the bud piece or the scion is attached to or inserted to or grafted to the rootstock. Now, if I take a bud piece of my Calamondin and graft to by tea budding to the EUREKA, my EUREKA will produce calamansi or Philippine lime. Is that so cool? Having a different fruit in different varieties of trees, I think that is awesome. So that is the beauty of grafting for cloning plants. Now let's talk about tea budding, since this is the video is all about. So tea budding is a different style or methods of grafting fruit trees or flowers like roses, and it is the most popular method used in horticulture and commercial agriculture, because this is the method that it is very simple and it gives a good result. Now, at tea budding, the tea shape can be performed in opposite direction. So I have a sample here. Let us use this tag as our tea. It's almost like it's close to tea shape. So if I cut a tea, the tea shape can be performed upright position or can be performed in upside down position. Now, the upside down position, the advantage, rain runs down. So this technique is very useful or helpful in areas where it gets a lot of rain. Now, let's do the graft coming up next. In order to have successful graft, I disinfect my pruner with 70% alcohol and select a healthy branch from my Calamondin to graft to the EUREKA. So I'm going to submerge this in water to keep the moisture while preparing my rootstock. With my EUREKA, I see that there is branch below, so I'm going to remove this so it doesn't interfere the graft, and also I have clearance in that area. So I'm going to cut this down And I'm going to remove all the leaves or the area that I'm going to place my graft. Now once all the leaves are removed, so I have a clearance in this area. In order for my graft to grow healthier, so I had to measure the length of the graft starting from the base, like almost like a foot from the base up to the area where I'm going to place my graft. And I'm going to spray this with alcohol to disinfect the site and allow it to dry. So I just ordered these tools, guys, and so I don't need to sterilize. And it is ideal or recommended to wear gloves because this is sharp and you don't want to cut your finger or your hand. But I had hard time to work with gloves on, so I'm just using this one with no gloves. This is a cool tool. Look at that. So I'm going to use this to graft. So I'm going to slice my bud, and I keep the petiole here a little bit longer because this is something for me to hold on. And I will slice my bud like an inch from the top all the way down here. So I have to take this one here, cut. You have to be careful when you do this one, guys, because it's dangerous. So you have to keep a little bit of wood in here. You can you don't have to be precise, but I have to measure this to the length of the EUREKA when I cut a T shape. So I hold the petiole and I have to make a marking point. So if I grab it in here, I have to make sure that I know the distance. It's easier for me. So I will cut a T in here. And then I will have another cut down. And I'm going to push this bark, creating a two plot. I'm going to use this back. This is supposed to be okay. So now it's pushed now, two plot. All right. Now we're going to insert this bud. Okay, so now I'm going to insert my bud piece without touching the bud. So that's why I keep the petiole, so I have something to hold on here. And then you just slide down. So we have to make sure that the cambium is aligned and touching to the cambium of the rootstock, because otherwise we will fail. Okay, so that is secured. Now I'm going to tie this, wrap with my paraffin, Alright, so I'm going to secure the graph, and I'm going to wrap this. Make sure it is touched down there, and I will start from the base below, then I'm going to wrap around. I have to tie this tightly. Now I'm going to cut this piece here, and I would remove this petiole because this is in the way, and I will cut just, oops, sorry guys, I am holding my other hand in here. To ensure that my graft is sealed or tight, I'm going to reinforce again with rubber band. This is just another support, guys, so that it doesn't slip, or so this cambium with contact to the cambium of the rootstock. So that's how to graft the Calamondin, and hopefully this one would survive. So in order to make sure that if this one fails, then we can have, I will add another graft on the top. So I will create another graft just in case if the other graft doesn't make it. So I'm going to remove these leaves. So posing this, I'm creating a two fluff. Now it's open with my bud piece holding the petiole. That's why you don't remove the petiole, guys, because it's easier without touching the bud. Okay, now I'm going to make sure that it is in contact with the cambium of the rootstock. Now it's a little bit long, so I have to cut this. Okay, it's cut. So when you graft by T-budding, make sure that it's sleeping. So you can see it's sleeping, so that is mean that the rootstock is slippery, the cambium still high in concentration, that area. Okay, now it's in place. Now we're going to wrap this. So I will start from the bottom. Make sure it is tight. Now I'm going to push this petioles down without damaging the bud. There you go. I'm going to take this out here. Now I'm going to add another support. Alright, so now I have this secured. I want to add another support. Make sure that this one is tight with rubber band. Okay, that would hold. Now I'm going to cut the top halfway because I want this bud graft to forcefully grow. Because if I keep it in there, it slows down the growth of the bud graft. You can use a saw to saw this branch, but I just use my pruner and just a little bit of breaking in here. So I'm going to break this half. There you go. Poor Eureka. Alright, so I just leave it in there. So if within 4 weeks, I cannot talk. Within 4 weeks, guys, this if we check this graph and see what will happen within 4 weeks. So if we see a growth, if we see any sign of callousing, doing well, then we remove this top altogether. So I'm going to move this plant in shade area for a couple days just to keep it healed. So when is the best time to graft citrus tree? The best time to graft citrus is in spring and in summer because plants are active growth. Also, plant natural hormones are higher level of concentration. You want that bud piece or scion to sleep when you graft to a rootstock. If you do your grafting late fall or during winter months, plants are going to dormancy. And also when you remove the bark, stem is kind of dry because of the changes in temperature. The colder the temperature reduces the amount of moisture on the stem. So your bud graft most likely won't survive during winter month. So do your grafting during active growth. Also, your bud graft, the cambium, must be aligned or must be in contact with the cambium of your rootstock. Otherwise, your graft will fail. I did a lot of grafting when I was teaching agriculture. That was 30 years ago, and since then I did not apply this method. So I am now kind of beginners to grafting. You saw me when I was grafting my citrus, I was struggling. So we're going to do a lot of practice grafting this year. So the more practice, the better the result. And also we will be coming good at it, grafting fruit trees. Is that sounds good? So I will follow up you guys what will happen to my graft within 4 weeks. And thank you for watching. So this is for today, folks. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, subscribe now. Also, don't forget to click the bell, because by clicking that bell, it notifies you when is our next future videos. And we upload videos every week, and we don't want you guys to miss anything. All right, this is for today again. Thank you for watching. Marcelina here at CashewGreens.com. Grow green and grow big. A peace.